Welcome back to our 90-minute news program. Thank you for staying with us. It's a policy priority for the nation, a form of education that could potentially improve the financial management of all Jamaicans. The issue of financial literacy has grown increasingly important in the current economic environment, but is enough being done to educate the public on the nuances of money management? Finance Twitter has emerged as an important hub in the promotion of financial literacy, from buying a car to investing in stocks, and two of its most prominent members join us tonight to discuss the topic. We're joined by the financial analyst, Mark Gale, and the finance blogger, Gillian Jackson. Welcome to CVM Live.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Before we hear what you have to say, let's hear from a member of the public on the topic.
Come on to money, most are not good for money management. So I think if them have a project and a program, people will, some of us, or most of us who know to God so we're not good with money, will take part in it. Yes, I think they should. To be honest, I think they should. Let me tell you, most man, when they say woman, or even when them kids are around, them do crazy and stupid things with money, including me myself. You know, we're not so good with money. We'll go hard out to get it. And we'll go to the ends to try to have it. But most of the way we just can't keep it. So I think if them can teach you how to keep it without spend it and still survive, them should have a program.
So, Mark and Gillian, most of we're not good with money, is that true?
I mean, that's a pretty bold statement. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I mean, I think generally speaking, what the feedback and stuff that we have been getting on Finance Twitter is that people genuinely understand that managing their money and even building wealth, more important than just managing your money, is not necessarily taught in school, and the knowledge isn't always out there. And so, people have been gravitating to the movement, that has started on Twitter. And so, I'm very, very optimistic about that.
But what exactly is financial literacy and why is it important?
I don't think there's any one definition of financial literacy, but it involves understanding how to manage your money, how to do a budget, simple things like opening a bank account, how to calculate interest on your savings account or interest if you're getting a loan. It's a wider range of different things, just being able to understand basic financial principles in doing transactions in Jamaica in both financial institutions and otherwise.
Do you have to understand maths and love numbers to do it?
I mean, so it's good to the thing with money, is that once you understand your money, you will develop an appreciation for numbers. So even don't let the math scare you. Obviously, it's good to have a solid grasp on numbers.
Right.
Another aspect of financial literacy also is just understanding principles. So for example, you speak about math. So one key principle in financial literacy is understanding opportunity cost, right? So for example, if you have a savings account, you have all of your cash in a savings account. We know that the banks, will pay, according to BOJ, anywhere from 0.6% to 1%, somewhere in that region. But it's literally like 0.something% a year, right? Whereas, the stock market, over the last couple of years, has averaged anywhere from, 30%, up. So the opportunity cost of you keeping your money in a savings account is the difference between what you could earn, in a stock market minus what you earn with a savings rate, right? So if the bank pays you 1% on your savings account and the stock market on average could earn you 30%, then the opportunity cost of you putting your money in a bank is 29% on your money, right? No, that doesn't mean that it is guaranteed. The good thing with the bank is that the bank is, safe, and you know that your money will always be there.
Insurance.
Exactly.
But you speak about banks and investments, right? But is there an age at which someone should be considered financially literate?
I think it should start from you're young. You should always develop savings habit with your children if you can. Start them with a piggy bank. Some of them have a school savers program that they join to from very, very early ages. Start developing a habit of saving, putting a little bit away, open a bank account for them, take them to the bank with you when you're opening the bank account with them so that they understand what saving is. And then as they grow older, you can give them chores to be able to get some income for themselves and be able to use that money and save that money and teach them the principles from they're really young. So like any language, finance is a language, I think. So like any language, it's best if you start as early as possible.
Okay, but you just mentioned things to do with at home and grooming at home. Do you think that finance should be a compulsory subject in school, Mark?
I mean, compulsory is an interesting word.
Well, like how we have math and English, why not?
You know, I'm not sure. I haven't come down on either side of this one. I think it will be a major benefit. That being said, I don't know. I think that we need to focus on the fundamentals first, because we still, you know, we do have a situation where, you know, by grade 11, you know, many of our high schoolers, you know, are not passing basic math and not passing English, right? So I think that we definitely, you know, we need to get to, you know, a significant amount of financial literacy, you know, throughout the economy and throughout the society, but we definitely need to focus on teaching the fundamentals and making sure that, you know, a wide, you know, section of the population really has a solid grasp of the fundamentals.
So why shouldn't this be a fundamental as well, though?
I mean, so you can make the argument that it should be.
Right?
Yeah, so okay.
Yeah, I think it could be something that is incorporated, but maybe not in a formal way like a math class or an English class. There are other classes that are not structured to have a syllabus that's rigorous, but for example, like at my alma mater, they have a program where the big sisters come in and volunteer and talk to the kids for one day for the week about different topics related to helping mentorship and helping them to improve. So it could be something that's incorporated in a program like that, where once a week somebody comes into the school and talks to you about concepts like, you know, how to buy a credit card, how to get a credit card, how to get a house, the steps towards home ownership. I mean, it might be too high level for them at that age, but just getting them thinking about, you know, saving and what it's like to be an adult and adulting.
What's the financial health, personal financial health of the average Jamaican?
Based on research that I've done, there's a World Bank study that has information on Jamaicans who are part of a financial institution and Jamaicans who save. And what that study, the last report was 2014, it said that only 30% of Jamaicans really save. And an interesting part of that study as well, it said that if there was an emergency, something really dire happened and you needed to get financial assistance in the equivalent of maybe 1 month's salary, only 38% of Jamaicans said that they would be able to afford that.
But how do we get Jamaicans to start prioritize savings?
Teaching the habits from early and showing them the benefits of savings. And you know, we're doing a small part on Finance Twitter JA, a really small part. Our audience is very limited. The average Jamaican is not on there. But for those who are on there, we have seen them grow, and we have seen persons come back and say, you know, I tweet a lot about home ownership, and persons have come back to me and said, you know, they've taken the steps towards getting their home because of what we're talking about. And Mark has seen persons say, you know, and I had my first dividend check. It's only $100, but I got my first dividend check, and I'm learning how to invest in the stock market. So teaching them, you know, what the benefits of doing it, and giving a wider audience information on what the benefits of investing in stocks are, of buying a home, etc.
So Mark, how does anybody check their financial health? How can you figure out where you are and what you need to do?
No, there's not a doctor.
Yeah, so I guess, you know, that's a tough question. There isn't like a, you know, a single tool or, you know, a calculator that you can go, you know, that tells you your general financial. But what I would say is the first thing is that you just need to kind of, you know, be honest with yourself and say, okay, you know what, perhaps I don't know as much about financial literacy as I should. You know, there are many opportunities. So one of the main messages that I really wanted to kind of bring here today, and this has been my main message that I'm carrying, is I believe that Jamaica is in what I'm calling our golden window, right? And what that basically means is that I'm expecting that over the next 5, 10, 20 years, like our generation, those one generation, tremendous wealth can be created for the vast majority or a big portion of our population, right? And it's important that we all understand, okay, we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that we all have an obligation to learn. Okay, what are the opportunities? Right. What does financial literacy mean? I mean, we saw, you know, so talking about the stock market, the Wigton IPO was a major watershed moment for local stock investing in Jamaica. You know, it had like 30,000 applications for, you know, to participate in the IPO. And since then, we've seen a lot of people, you know, just, you know, this thirst and this hunger and this appetite has just opened up for learning about how to, what are stocks, you know, what are bonds, you know, what should my portfolio look like? How do I manage
right.
money better?
All right, we'll soon wind down now, but we need to talk about strategies, how the average person can improve their financial health. What are the key things that each of us should be doing?
There are many things that we could tackle to improve financial literacy, but learning about it, you have to have the passion for yourself. You have to go out there and try and get the tools to understand about these financial products, about loans, about stocks. Basic things, there's a study that was done about financial literacy around the world, and it ranked all the countries, 142 countries across the world, and it's Jamaica's, based on the study, only 33% of Jamaicans could pass a simple financial literacy test. The test had 5 questions on it, and it tested things like interest rates, compound interest, diversification, and inflation. Those we would consider basic financial topics, and only 33% of Jamaicans could grasp those topics. So understanding how these things impact you, go and read up about inflation. How does inflation impact me? Can I buy the same thing? If I have the same amount of money today and the same amount of money in 10 years, can I buy the same amount of things that I could buy? So those are the type of questions that you have to ask in terms of measuring whether or not you understand inflation. And then there are questions you could ask whether or not you can understand interest rates. Interest rates are prevalent in any transaction you want to do in a financial institution, whether or not it's a savings transaction or a loans transaction. So understand how interest works and understand how inflation works and those things.
Well, math numbers are really low.
All right, interest, I mean, it's a basic principle like, okay, if I have compound interest is a powerful tool. It's one of the most powerful tools in being able to create wealth. So if you have $100 today and your money is earning at a rate of 5%, you'll have $105 next year. But next year, your money is going to be earning interest on the $105 and not the $100. So that's something that a lot of people are not sure about. You know, how does my money grow? It grows by compound interest. So, you know, learning about those things and being able to save at a rate that is higher than the inflation rate will mean that your money is not being eaten out before you can even get the value out of it.
But speaking about savings, Mark, should I buy a car or a home first? What should we know about those big ticket items?
Wow, what a question. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, honestly, there isn't a simple answer for everybody. It all depends on what is your stage in life, what do you want to achieve, you know, what does your financial situation look like.
But how do you assess that?
You know, boy, I didn't even know, Julie, right?
Let me chime in on that one. So I did a study the other day on renting versus buying, so not the same thing. But it all boiled down to you have different things that you have to think about. Your financial situation. Can you afford a house or can you afford a car? If you can't afford a house, then okay, we can see if we can manage the car first, and then we can get to the house after. Then you have to think about your lifestyle. Am I going to be traveling a lot? Do I really need the car? Or am I going to be staying in one place? Or is my work like a minute away from where I want to live so I can just walk? So there are different considerations. It's not a straightforward answer. You have to think about your specific situation. And in that post that I had done about renting versus buying, I came up with a calculator and made some assumptions. So you can actually just visit my website or go on Twitter and be able to download that calculator and put in the price of your house and what you're paying for rent now and be able to see which one is better for you.
But speaking of posts, you mentioned Finance Twitter. Right. What is that?
Right, so Finance Twitter, JA, is literally just a collection of Jamaicans, you know, myself and Jillian and a number of others that will literally just share information freely. So all you have to do is just go on Twitter. You can either download the app on your mobile phone or go on twitter.com and then you just search for the hashtag Finance Twitter JA. And then you just read the posts. And, you know, a lot of us share a lot of information. You know, we encourage each other. Speaking, you know, earlier you asked about, you know, what are some of the specific tips. I mean, one of the big things is, do you spend more than you earn every single month, right? So that's the first thing. Like, if you spend more than you earn every month, you know that you're not in a great financial position. So you need to figure out, okay, how do I change the situation, right? But the only way you can save is when you're earning less than you save.
And are there tips to change the situation?
You just have to like take an honest, you know, like for example, if you eat out every single day for the night, for the week, then you probably may want to say, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should eat out once a week or once a month, you know, and I eat at home less. You literally just you know, spend less. And then when you spend less, you get more savings. And when you get more savings, then you can start investing in education. What is the stock market? You know, what companies should I be investing in?
Right.
You can go to, you know, we're not licensed financial advisors, but you can go to companies like JMMB, you know, or Barita, or, you know, JN fund managers, you know, and talk to them about.
People always say one of the main things that can improve it immediately is to do a budget and stick to it.
Precisely, precisely. I am a rigorous budgeter.
Why? Why is it important?
Because you know what your expenses are, you know what you have available to save or to invest after you pay all your expenses. And if you're saying, wow, I'm really spending $20,000 on food when I could be spending $5 if I brought my lunch to work every day. So you can look at, do a dispassionate look at where you can actually cut down in your budget to know that, okay, I'm going to be increasing my savings and I'm saving towards a specific goal, like whether or not it be retirement, buying a house, whether or not I'm going to be investing in stocks. You have that cushion, and the only way you're going to know what cushion you have every month to commit to saving is if you do a budget and figure out what.
And just to add to that, so one other tool and tip that I have used that work well for me is in the envelope system. You literally, when you take your money, you write down all of your bills on every envelope. So JPS gets an envelope, NWC gets an envelope, food, grocery gets an envelope, and you literally, when you get your money, you put it in there and you stick to it. When the money done, that's it.
That's it. And that's it for us. Thanks, Mark and Gillian, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, thanks for having us.
Discussion. There's more CVM Live right after this break.